Well, you guys asked us questions, and we are here to answer them. But you asked us so many that we have multiple pages, and so we're going to split this into 3 or 4 or 5 videos. But there's some major themes involved, and so on tonight's Q&A, we're going to answer the questions about our loop itself. And so we'll go through them and do our very best to answer them. If we miss the mark or you have other questions, just put them in the comments. We answer all of those in text form and would be happy to answer those. So, where do I start? Here?
Sure.
Jason asks, what is your good and bad overall experience of the loop with your family? It's a dream to be able to do what you're doing with your kids. And it is. It is a dream to be able to be out here doing this with our kids. And it has been awesome. The good and bad overall experience, I mean, I think the good you've seen in our videos. We're pretty open about that. We show you...
we don't just show the good, but...
all the amazing places that we've been, the adventures we've been on, and the things that we have seen. And we've shown you some of the challenges that we have faced as well, whether it's heavy seas or storms or those kinds of things. And so that is that. I think what doesn't come across in our weekly videos is that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And we have been out here for 14 months now as we wrap up our loop. And that is a long time to be on a boat as a family.
All together.
And whatever you're facing today, like stern anchoring next to granite, or weather or wind or connectivity with the internet for whatever reasons, just to look up the weather and things like that, every day presents a different challenge. And
it's not a vacation.
It's
work.
It's not a vacation. There are days that are a vacation, but it is work. It is hard. But it is, I think,
super
rewarding and satisfying in ways that we did not expect. So I think that's part of the good and the bad, is that when we come together as a family and overcome a challenge, it feels good. It's a positive experience and something that our kids, I think, are going to remember, whether it's, fighting waves in a storm when we did the 15-hour Atlantic stretch, or the overnight crossing of the Gulf, or getting over to the Bahamas. There's some long days there. Or just like today, our stern tie came loose from shore and we started swinging out here.
Yeah.
And just before we were going to film this, viewer Jim is anchored right next to us. We had no idea. So he comes on over. He's like, hey, I follow you on YouTube. He just dinghied right up to us and to say hi. So, and hello, Jim, being next door right over here. But I don't know. That's the good and the bad. We've had a lot of good family bonding as a result of even the the days that were a challenge. I think. So.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Mary Brainerd asked, what has been your scariest time and also your most memorable time? So the most memorable time we're going to postpone.
Whole video about that.
Yes. So
we've been maintaining our top places on the loop list, and we're going to do a whole video on those top places. So stay tuned, because how do you even pick those out? Like when we anchored behind the Statue of Liberty, or a senator got us a private tour of the Capitol, or the blue water in the Bahamas, or just there's countless memories. It's hard to pick just one, but we're going to do our best to at least pick some of our top.
We have to do like one per month.
Our top places and top memories of the loop. But yeah.
Okay, scariest have actually been storms. We come from the Pacific Northwest, where it rains all the time, but there are hardly any storms. In fact, when we started the loop, our son was 13, and he'd never actually really seen a thunderstorm. And we got one right off the bat in St. Louis, and we were fascinated because we have lived all over the U.S. and haven't seen one in a while, and we knew, when to worry and when not to worry. Well, when we did need to worry, we've had on 3 separate occasions tornado warnings, and one was particularly scary in the middle of the night. And then when we were coming into New York City, if you remember that video, it wasn't a tornado warning, but we were out in open water during a storm as we were coming in, and I pulled the mom, like, I'm fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. We're all fine. And that's when he knows it's not fine. And so I would say storms that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, and then the most memorable, like, scary moment was, if you've been following for a while, we got hit by a sailboat in a storm. They drug anchor and had a medical emergency aboard and crashed into us, leaving a hole in the side of our boat above the waterline. We didn't sink.
That was scary.
Everybody's okay, but that was scary. And, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Next question is a 3-parter. What would you leave out, do again, or what were you not able to do that you wanted to do? And so for all the do agains, we will refer you to our future top memorable moments video. What we would leave out.
Leave out is hard.
Yeah.
There's no place I think we went that we were like, oh, I wish we weren't here right now, because you experience everything where you are. There's some good in wherever you are. So whether it's a boring place, you catch up on boat jobs and YouTube videos and whatever. If it's a just not what you expected, you still can find things that are that are good about the place. We've also had some of our most satisfying places when we've been pinned down by weather. So we would visit a town. We intended to spend 1 day there. Instead, we got to spend 3. And so you go to like the tiny museum that's there that you wouldn't be on your top list, but turns out to just be awesome because the curator is awesome. And you find something in those moments that, so it's not like where you would leave out. It's just that
I have some leave outs.
You find some joy. And then the rest of it's route choices. So when you make route choices, like to go on the Erie Canal versus doing the Lake Champlain route and the St. Lawrence Seaway route, you commit to that, and so you miss some other things. And so if we were to do it over again, we would take a different route that way. Not because the Erie wasn't like memorable, because it is in its own way, but it maybe didn't live up to exactly what we thought it would be, and so we would maybe make a route choice there.
Yeah, so that it would be nice to go up to Lake Champlain and down the St. Lawrence Seaway if we had the time. And so that's something we would do differently. I would leave out, okay, so let me plug Kim Russo at the AGLCA. Her route briefings are amazing, and all of her food choices have been amazing. Even like some really obscure ones we found to be delicious. Other people or loopers have given us like food places we should go that we would skip. I didn't need to have the thickest pork chop. It was kind of meh, and so it prevented us from going somewhere else that we thought we would like. And so, go to a restaurant that you like, or a type of food that you like.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because food is high up on a lot of people's lists, and so at the beginning we took a lot of those recommendations, and then we just stopped doing that.
Yeah, make the loop your own, and so figure out what you want to do in places and go do it.
And what were we not able to do is we really wanted to take a side trip up the Tennessee River.
Yeah. And
to see, I really wanted to see Chattanooga and Knoxville, and then where did you want to see the recording?
Yeah, like Florence, Alabama, and that whole area. We sped down the rivers and didn't linger
because of that scary storm,
and didn't do side trips because of that. We need to get the boat hauled out and fixed. So, that's not able to do.
Right, and the Rideau Canal in Canada, you have to go up and then back down. It's not a route choice. It's do you want to go up to Ottawa and come back down? So that's a side trip as well, and I think that would be fun. But I'm kind of locked out. I don't know that I need extra locks. No.
Yeah, because we've just been through the Erie and the Trent Severn, and so we've done 60, 70 locks just here in the last month.
Yeah.
So
I don't know that I would actually
sign up for more locks.
Yeah. Okay. So from Mom with a Map, who are some of your favorite families you met on the loop? So let me start this with the Gold Loop families that we met on the way, because those are the first families that we met, including Light and Salty, who is Mom with a Map, and then our friends that were on Have Another Day, which unfortunately was lost in Hurricane Ian. But both of those families are dear to our hearts, and we of course will see them in the future.
And super helpful in
Yeah.
helping during times of our family's journey on the loop of figuring out how to do things, or just route choices, or just things that are specific to families. They were really good. And I would add to Wendy Wilson, who looped with their family, and we got to meet on our loop too. They're just so generous with their time and answering concerns for families on the loop, and we hope to kind of pay that forward as well. If you have questions about looping as a family, we want to help you too. So yeah.
And then families are few and far between, and the families that we spent the most time with and love were on Nice Aft and Crab Shack and Seashine, and then we met new loopers on Fika, and our kids have just hit it off with all of the kids on those boats, and so that helps a lot. So the parents can hang out and the kids can hang out, and just all of them have been a blessing. And in fact, we've changed our route to meet up with those families over and over again.
Yeah, and I wish we'd done that earlier, like especially on the rivers. Coming down the rivers, we missed that community because we had a schedule and we just couldn't linger, and I wish we had been able to do that and form those bonds earlier. But glad we did when we did.
So, well, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the questions that we had about our loop and our looping experience. Next time we'll maybe talk about our boat or our future plans or some of the miscellaneous questions we got. We appreciate you sending these in. It's not too late. Put your questions in the comments, and we're happy to answer those too. Cheers.
Cheers.